In this short session, we're going to look at some of the basics that are in Windows 10's operating system. First of all, we're going to take a look at the desktop, which is what you see in front of you. This desktop contains many different icons that take you to specific applications. There's a recycle bin where you can throw your trash, and then you can empty it to remove it from the computer. But remember, anytime that you delete something from the computer, it's really not deleted. Nothing is really ever deleted off of the computer, but we can clean it up and provide more space for different types of applications. Also, let's see, at the bottom of the screen is a taskbar, and these are applications that are currently running, which is what I'm pointing to with my mouse pointer. And whenever it shows a picture of them, it's called a preview of those particular applications that's currently open. There's some other applications that I have pinned to the taskbar because I use them frequently. Okay, off to the left is the Start button for Windows. When I click on it, it opens up two screens basically. To the left is all the applications that are on the computer, and then you can pin some of those applications or all of the applications, but that would be probably take up a lot of memory for you to do so. But you can put a lot of applications over here on the tile pane, and the reason it would take up a lot of space is notice that the news feed is always constantly giving a little bit of information in it, so there's something that's running in the background. So the more you have, probably the more sluggish a computer would be in the first place. So you want to use the tiles area for major files that you go to on a regular basis. This application right here called This PC will actually open up your File Explorer, and this is where you can find all your file management tools on your system. So this is one of the locations you can get to your File Explorer, which looks like this. And then your File Explorer will have two screens. The left screen is the navigation pane, and this is all of the pathways to get to the folders and files on the right-hand side. So this is a folders pane on the right side and the navigation pane on the left side. We can also get to Files Explorer by asking Cortana, which is the intelligent agent that Windows 10 uses. Very similar to that of Siri and Alexa. You can also get directions. You can do almost everything that you can do with Siri and Alexa by using Cortana, which is Windows' artificial intelligent agent. You can find out how much time it's going to take you to get to work in the morning, and if the traffic is very bad, if you need to take a detour, just a variety of different questions that you can ask her. Hey Cortana, open or start File Explorer.
Sure thing. Starting File Explorer.
Okay, here is the same File Explorer, just a different way to get into it. And you can also ask her to open up specific files or folders within your system if you call it exactly what you want it, what it has been named originally. I'm going to close this out very quickly and show you that you can create a folder on your desktop by right-clicking. There's a left mouse button and a right mouse button. Use your right mouse button and right-click very quickly, and then click on New and click on Folder. And whenever I say click, I'm meaning with the left mouse button. If I want you to use the right mouse button, I will say right-click or right-drag. If I just want you to click, use the left mouse button. If I want you to drag, use the left mouse button. So here is the folder, and now you can name your folder, and I can call this My Examples. And then hit Enter. You can double click on that particular folder, and if you want to open up new folders in your File Explorer, on the folders, in the Folders pane, I can right click and choose New Folder, and call this one Math. Okay, right click again in the white area and choose New Folder and call this one Science. Okay, right click again and choose New and Folder and I'm going to type in computer class. Okay, and so we have 3 folders right there. In computer class, I can double click on that folder, and the folder is currently empty. I'm going to add 3 folders in this one. I'm going to right click and choose new folder, and then call this one Word. Then right click again and choose new folder Excel, and then right click again and choose new folder Access. Okay, so what this looks like, whenever I scroll over here to the left margin, this is on my desktop that I did this, and notice the navigation pane that there's a right arrow next to the word desktop. I want to click the right arrow and open up the desktop to show me what types of folders and files are on it. Currently, I have a home.rsc and Flash, and then a folder called Lowell, and a folder called My Examples. And notice there's another arrow out to the side of it, so I can click it. And there's a computer, and there's another arrow out to the side of it, and it has Access, Excel, Word, and then indented back to the left a little bit under My Computer is Math and Science. Okay, I can scroll the vertical bar down a little bit, and then I have My School Courses and another arrow, and I have Module 1, 2, and 3. So there are a few things that are out there on my desktop that I'm going to show you today, and show you how easy it is to actually manage the files on your computer. First of all, as far as a folder is concerned, think of it as the proverbial file cabinet. In your file cabinet, you have multiple drawers, maybe 4 or 5 drawers. Let's say that each file cabinet has 4 drawers to it. So in your 4 drawers, you can call the top one File Cabinet A, the next one B, C, and D. Okay, you open, if you need to get into File Cabinet B, you pull that drawer open, and then you have a lot of files that you can navigate through, and you find the file that you're looking for, and you realize, hey, there's 3 folders inside of it, and I need a file that's in one of those folders. Okay, that's very similar to the way that the file management system is set up here in the File Explorer. So we're going to easily be able to find these files and move and copy information from one location into another. Now, when you're on the same drive, copying onto the same drive, meaning we have multiple folders out here on the desktop right here. There's My Examples, and then here is My School Courses, and then I have Lowell down here in the lower right-hand corner, so I have 3 folders out here. And if I'm copying from Lowell over to My Examples, and then My Examples over to My School Courses, we're in the same drive. This is on the C drive, which would be generally the default for Windows. So we're on the C drive, but in a folder called Desktop, and the desktop has 3 folders called My School Courses, My Examples, and Lowell. Okay. Oh, and there's a 4th one, I'm sorry, Home and RSC and Flash. So there's 4 folders that are in the folder called Desktop. So anytime we're copying anywhere in this computer system, we're copying on the same drive. Now, the reason I really reiterated that is because we have a left mouse and a right mouse button. Okay, whenever we're doing we're using the left mouse button to drag a file from one folder to another folder on the same drive, that's automatically a move operation. But if I have a flash drive that's attached to the system as a peripheral, then that flash drive may have a different designation. So everything on this computer is drive C, but the flash drive may be called drive D. Well, let's see what it's called. I'm not really sure. So I'm going to open up the File Explorer, click on PC, and I'm going to scroll down the navigation pane, and sure enough, the USB drive is called Drive D. Okay. In Drive D, I have a folder called Current Laptop Files, and I'm going to hit the right arrow, and I have all of these folders that are in Drive D. If I use my left mouse button to copy something from drive C over to drive D, then that left mouse button would be a copy operation. But if I'm copying from the same drive to the same drive, that left mouse drag will be a move operation. Let's put this into action and see what happens. Okay, let's first play with the same drive. So here's My School Courses. I'm going to double click on this particular folder, and I'm going to take a look at the desktop by opening the navigation pane and going into My School Courses, and there I see my 3 modules. If I click on Module 1, it opens up what's in Module 1. This is what's in Module 2. And then here is Module 3. Okay, Module 3 has the least number of files in it. There's only 6 files. And it looks like Module 1 has 9 items in it. And Module 2 has 8 items in it. Okay, let's say that I can take the title bar of the File Explorer and I can drag it anywhere on the screen. I'm going to drag it over here to the left margin, and I'm going to minimize it. And I'm going to open up my examples. And then I'm going to take this one and drag the title bar by holding down on the left mouse button, drag it over here to the right margin, and watch it automatically pin into place. Now over here is where Module 1 is, so I can click on it to open it. And it took the location of the left side of the screen. Well, remember, we created these folders earlier on the desktop. So if I look at the desktop and look at my examples, it shows that I have a computer folder, a math folder, and a science folder. Let's say I want to take this exam 3 file. It's a WordPerfect file. I can tell by looking at the image on the icon. This is a Word file because of the W on it. But let's say I take this exam 3 that's in WordPerfect, a different application altogether, and I want to drag it over into the math folder. All I do is, and remember I'm going from the same drive to the same drive, just different folders. So I'm going to left drag by holding down the left mouse button, and I'm going to drag this over to the math folder and release. Notice it disappeared from Module 1 off of the desktop, and now it's located over here in the math folder. Okay, the appearance of this particular file looks a little bit different, but I want to change the appearance of it by clicking on View and click Large Icons. And now it looked just like it did earlier. Okay, I don't like the decision that I just made, so I want to undo what I just did. Whenever I'm in Files Explorer, if I make a bad decision, I can undo it immediately by pressing Control-Z. Control-Z, holding down on the Control key on the keyboard and very quickly hitting Z. Now notice it disappeared from the math folder and went back over to Module 1 under My School Courses. Okay, so now you did notice, let's move 5 files. This one, and let's click, Control-click this one, Control-click this one, let's just do 3. So I Control-clicked these 3 files. Now I lifted my fingers up off of the Control key on the keyboard, and then I'm going to hold down the left mouse button on one of these selected files, and I'm going to drag it over here to the math folder and release. That's with the left mouse button going from the same drive to same drive. That left mouse button will be a move operation. Okay. It copied the 3 selected files, so I wouldn't have to do that 3 separate times. So whenever you want to select multiple files and or folders, you Control select them one after the other. I want to undo this, and let's say I want to take the first 4. Yes, I could click on the first one and then do Control click, and Control click. Another way to do this is to click on the first one and then hit Shift click, and it selects everything between the click and the Shift click. Okay, so if I hit the Shift click down here at this next one on Spring Break, Shift click on it, then the first 6 are selected. Okay, now if I take the left mouse button and hold down on it, on any of those files that are selected, and drag it over here to the math folder, it's going to move with the left mouse button from the same drive to the same drive, just from one folder to a different folder. I'm going to undo this, and now I'm going to scroll down the navigation pane and go to a different drive. I'm going to go to the flash drive called Drive D, and here in the navigation pane I can choose any of these folders. I'm going to select the current laptop files, and I'm going to click, let's see, what do I want to do? Okay, I'm going to find, you know what, I don't want to ruin any of these particular files on my, or folders on my flash drive, so I'm going to add a new folder. And to add a new folder, I'm going to right click right here on current, I'm going to right click on the D drive and have a completely different folder altogether. So I'm going to right click right there on Drive D and then do new folder, new in folder, and I'm going to call this available new files. Press the enter key, and I called it available because I wanted it to go into the A position, which is at the top. So here's the new folder on the D drive. Now remember, I was going to take one, let's control click this one, and then control click this one. Select multiple files with the control, and now let's use the left mouse button and go from the C drive to the D drive. Remember, when it was from the same drive to the same drive, that was a move operation. Watch what happens whenever I use the left mouse button to go to a different drive. It becomes a copy operation. I'll change those to large icons. That's a copy operation. So the files are still in the same position in drive C. They were just copied over to drive D on my flash drive. Okay, I'm going to delete these. I'm going to select them, control select them, or I could draw a marquee around them to select them and press the delete key to remove them, and then just choose the option yes. Okay, let's say that I want to do a move operation. Remember, I was using the left mouse button to do a move operation from the same drive to the same drive, but that turned into a copy operation whenever I went from one drive to another drive. So if I want to copy those same 3 files, click, and control click, use the right mouse button and drag over to the available new files in the folders pane and release, and it will bring up a context sensitive menu. And this is kind of a good way to double check, and this is really my preferred method when I'm using a mouse, is to right drag, and it will always give you an option of copy or move, and then I won't make that mistake. So I can go ahead and choose the option to move at this particular point. And now they're moved over to Drive D. That was all through the right mouse button. Okay, now let's say that I want to take Jukebox from the available new files on Drive D, and I want to copy it over to Module 3. So all I do is left click, going from Drive D back over to Drive C, and I'm going to drop it right there in Module 3. And so Jukebox stayed on the D drive under available new files. And now let's look at Module 3. And we should see Jukebox right there now. There's a copy of it. Okay, so that gives you a little bit of a background on how to copy back and forth. Let's say I want to, hey, did you know you can use the keyboard shortcut keys to copy and paste as well, or copy and move. Let's say I wanted to take Jukebox alone and make a copy of it and put it in Module 2. So I can select it over here in the D drive and press Control-C for copy, and then go over here to Module 2 and click over here in the Folders pane, and then press Control-V. And there is a copy of Jukebox in Module 2. Okay, so Control-C is a copy command. And by the way, I can do this. I can select all three of these files by drawing a marquee around them. And if I want to copy those over into Module 2, I can press Control-C, then come over here and click in Module 2 folder on Drive C and press Control-V. And it copied those over, but I already had the Jukebox there, so it's going to ask, do you really want to replace those files that are already there? And I'll go, if I do want to replace them, if I know I made changes to them, I will likely say replace the files in the destination. The only time that would probably be problematic for me is if I go, wait a second, is the destination drive the newest file or the oldest file? And if I have to question that, then I'll probably want to find the one that's newest before I copy it over to another location, because I don't want to make those changes again. Okay, let's see. If I want to move these files from the available new files over here on Drive D, you know what? I just want to take the folder called Available New Files under Drive D. So I'm going to click on Available New Files, and notice it's selected over here in the navigation pane. And I'm going to hit Control-X. Okay, I'm going to come over here to My School Courses and press Control-V. Look, there's Available New Files over here on Drive C now. And the available new files that was over here in the D drive is no longer there. Okay, that gives you a little bit of an idea how to go back and forth and how to manage your files and folders a little bit. This button right here is minimize, and if I minimize this one and also this one, they go down here to the taskbar, and then whenever I run my cursor over the File Explorer that's on the taskbar, it shows that I have the available new files folder right there. And if I move my cursor on top of that image, that preview, it gives me a preview of it. And then I can move over here to this one, and it gives me a preview of this one. But I haven't selected either one. If I want to select them both again, I can click on this one, and then go back to the File Explorer icon, and then click on the other one. Now I have them both visible again. Okay, the middle button on the title bar is the maximize. If I want to make this a large screen, I can maximize it. Now notice this maximize button turns into a restore down button. So it goes from restore down to maximize, maximize to restore down. And I can click on it again, and it will restore it to its previous size and previous location. And then the X is to exit or to close the window. Okay, so this is your title bar where it says available new files, and then this bar over here to the left is your quick access launch toolbar. Okay, I'm going to open up a Word document. So if I don't know exactly where Word is located, I do actually, but if I don't, I could say, hey Cortana, open Word.
Sure. Which Word do you want to open?
Okay, there are several choices that begin with the word Word. So I'm going to click on this one right here. Okay, now in Microsoft Word, you can, there's a variety of different templates that are already pre-designed. Even though they're pre-designed, don't always depend on them because sometimes they're not the best creation. You may have to modify them a little bit. But I must admit that this particular version of Word is quite impressive. I'm going to go ahead and open the blank document by double-clicking on it. And here's Word, and it's only a partial screen. I want to maximize the application. And I'm going to go back over here, and I'm going to find Excel, and I'm going to open up Excel. Okay, I'm going to choose the blank workbook for Excel, and I'm going to maximize it. Okay. I too can divide these particular screens. If I restore it down, I can click right here where it says Book 1 Excel and drag the title bar over here into the right margin area, and it pins to the right side of the screen. Then I can do the same over here to the Word document, and it pins to the left side of the screen. Okay, I want to close Word and open up an existing document. Okay, I'm going to drag it over here into the left margin. And then I want Excel to be over here in this one. Okay, the word skilled I want to add over here to cell B2 in Excel. So I'm going to double click on the word skilled, and then with the left mouse button I'm going to select skilled and drag it over here to B2 in Excel and drop it by removing my the pressure on my left mouse button, and then the word skilled appears right there. So you can copy information from one application to another. If you kind of get lost, you can swipe in from the left side of your screen, and it shows all of the applications that are currently open. And you can navigate through these with the Alt-Tab key and kind of take a look and just kind of go around and then find the one that you're really interested in opening up. And then once you find it, release, and then it opens that particular file. And you're able to work, or that application, you're able to go ahead and work on it. And just one of the fun things that you can do in the new version of Microsoft Word is there's a Draw tab. And by the way, to the left of the title bar, this is your quick access toolbar, and that's customizable. And I've added the print feature to it, and the save and the comment features to it, as well as the print preview. So I can preview an image of my document before I actually print it to see what it's going to look like on my printer. But you can customize that very easily. And where it says File, Home, Insert, Draw, those are called tabs. If you click on each one, it opens up a completely new ribbon. If I go back to Home, then this group right here is called the Clipboard group. This group right here is called the Font group. And this group right here is called the Paragraph group. If I need more options that are not visible here under Paragraph, I can hit this little button right here in the lower right hand corner called Paragraph Settings. If I click that button, that's called a Dialog Box Launcher button. Dialog Box Launcher button. So is this one over here under the Font group. This one's under the Paragraph group. If I click that Dialog Box Launcher button, it opens up more features that are just not visible because that would probably clutter your screen too much. But I'm going to click on the Draw tab, and I have a pen on the surface, and I can actually choose one of these pens, and I can come in and draw an arrow. I can make my arrow thicker if I choose to do so. choose a smaller one now. And I can circle the word creativity and foster. I can write on it and say maybe check this out. And I can write on the screen and save it and print this particular document. This is a really good tool whenever you're collaborating with others and you're making notes on files for other people to see. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close out of Microsoft Word, and I'm not going to save this particular file, so I'll choose Don't Save, and I'm going to exit out of each one of these applications without saving them. And this is kind of a quick little preview and a summary of some of the things that you should be covering in the Windows and the Office sections of your textbook.